following is a production of Watlington Shires and Pierce Productions.
Yeah.
All right, folks, welcome here to the big broadcast as we are back here at the Piney Area Coaches Show. And tonight, Coach Wallace is here with us as we're getting started here this evening. Big ball game coming up, and so we're definitely going to talk to him. And we've got a bunch of things going on last week. But Coach, first and foremost, let's just kind of get into it here. I know that a lot of things are going on there for the Dragons. But how's the week of practice been so far this week? Had some a little bit of weather out there, but been pretty nice other than that.
Yeah, getting one day under the hat, everybody kind of getting their eyes on the new opponent this week and understanding the game plan and what we're looking at. Had a really good day of practice today. Kids really upbeat, excited about being in the playoffs, excited about being the district champions, and so just moving forward on to the next opponent.
Yeah, and we already know who that next opponent is going to be, and it's going to be in Thursday at against Leon Jewett. I'm saying that right, I hope. And so this should be a good game there. I mean, they're a good quality opponent out there for us too, and it's going to be in Nacogdoches. And yes, I've had some people ask me. I think I sent you the link finally
Yes,
today,
sir.
and
Yes, sir.
so we will be on the NFHS network, so we will be there to cover it, and it will be on the NFHS network, so we will be there for that. So that's going to be a good one. But let's kind of go back and how we got here. It's been a crazy season. Everybody was kind of scheduling and scoreboard watching on Friday night, especially on Thursday too. Because really, when on Thursday, my plan was to go over there and cover West Sabine because they had already scheduled that game on Thursday. So I was going to go there cover the West Sabine game and then come back through. And then on Friday night, I was going to do Timpson and St. Augustine because that was going to be such a big, important matchup right there. But then that game got moved. So we went and did the West Sabine game and watched that one out there. And they were able to beat Sabine Pass. And went up there and caught the second half of the other game there in St. Augustine. Until about 3:15 in the third quarter, it was all you never knew what was going to happen, and something just kind of fell off there for the Wolves. Unfortunately, Timpson gets a good win there, and then Joaquin, who was sitting up there, had a chance to be top. They end up down there to number 4 because of the late night there against Garrison.
Yes, sir.
And so it was a crazy night out there, but it ends up being Shelbyville number 1, Garrison number 2. Timpson number 3 and Joaquin number 4 after all of that.
Yes, sir. That's what we talked about every week on here is just how competitive the district is, top to bottom, and you go into the last week and we're looking at things and we can finish anywhere from first, second, third, or fourth.
Right.
There's other people sitting in some different boats, and Joaquin is looking to play for the 1 spot or the 4 spot.
Right.
Garrison's looking to play for the 1 spot or the 2 spot, and so it's just a lot of stuff. If St. Augustine wins,
Right.
they're in the playoffs, and Timpson's not, and so it's just been crazy how the district's unfolded, but it's exactly what we thought it would be, week in and week out. Just really competitive games, and a lot of quality teams that are in the district.
Right, and I think that we got to talk to plenty of the coaches here into this district throughout the season, and and all of you guys, I think will agree that whoever plays any one of the teams that does make it out of here better be ready to play some football because all these teams are so battle tested over these last 5 or 6 weeks. It's just unbelievable how tough this district is.
It is, and the one thing you have to worry about coming out of a district like this every night, just the physicality and the high level that you have to play at is how healthy are you once you get into the playoffs?
Right.
How beat up is each team from battling each other and just getting in the playoffs and being able to be full strength and be able to get after it because we're battle tested. I mean, week in and week out, the teams that you have to play are very tough, and so I don't think that's going to be a question at hand. When
Right.
anybody looks at the work that each team has done to get here, and so I think that everybody from our district moving forward into the playoffs, is somebody that teams don't really want to see. With Centerville drawing Joaquin as a 4 seed, 1-4 matchup, that's a really tough 4 seed to have to draw. I mean, I think.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere earlier they're average around 40 points a game out of the slot T, and that's really dynamic for that style of offense. And so just the things that they're able to do on offense, the Brown kid playing really well at quarterback for them, and they're a really tough draw.
Yeah, they definitely are, and I mean they got a good one there in Centerville. Is a good little team. I think I got to see them last year. That I said just kind of keep up with them. They're a good squad, bringing some guys back too. But Joaquin's good out there, and I think that's going to be a good matchup out there as well. And I know that will be be covered by our NetSN crew up out of the Tyler area, so it'll be on the NFHS network as well. So that one will be out there for the Joaquin folks, so they'll be able to check that out. And also, we kind of collaborated with the center guys. They'll be here in a little bit. Coach Meeks, and of course, they get Gilmer, which is not a fun task for these
No, I mean, I
guys.
think, and I think it's pretty much when you look in deep East Texas, there's a lot of really tough teams,
Mhm.
that make up the top 20, top 25, however you want to look at it in high school football. And a lot of times you draw really tough opponents early, and just
Right.
kind of people asking us, what does it look like for the playoffs? And you start talking about, your possible opponents going through, and there's not really a week off, which is what our district's used to. But it's
Hmm.
just so many tough teams throughout the region that make up the playoff bracket that
Right.
are, tough opponents.
Yeah, and then also West Sabine getting in there too. They kind of got to in where they were going to be, and they had a good little run out there. And they're going to be playing in Timpson on Thursday, so the center guys are going to be over there covering that one on NFHS Network. So we'll have a bunch of local guys covering the local teams around the area right here. And then the one thing too, I know kind of bounce ahead here, but if the one thing I'm looking at here is the possibility of a Shelbyville Beckville second round. That's gonna be that could be one very very intriguingly good football game.
Yeah, we're gonna try to be 1-0 this week and
Right.
get ready to beat Leon. And if we're fortunate enough to make it the next week, then
Worry about that then.
we'll redirect our focus to Beckville. But right now, all eyes on Leon.
Right, and that's true too. And then moving down here a little bit, we'll talk a little bit with this later too. Garrison has got Corrigan Camden, and then Timpson at Hearn, and I will be in on Friday night. On Friday night I will be in Palestine on the FHS Network covering the Timpson Hearn game there. So I'm getting it all covered here for all the Pineywood squad. That's for sure. So looking forward to that. But let's go back and talk a little bit about the game on Friday night. Of course, was pretty much done there at halftime because of the weather and the things that were going on. And Hemp Hill, I knew that. I mean, this is a good squad over there at Hemp Hill. They had some very big guys up there up front. I think with the freshman quarterback out there, and
Yes,
they
sir.
get him a little bit more experience and bring those guys back. Hemp Hill Hornets are going to make some noise next year.
They're gonna be pretty good, and I think that it goes along. It feeds in with the rest of the district. They had a new coach this year, Brandon Lane. He's a good guy. He's been on the state championship staff. He's been an AD for a while, and so them getting in a new system and trying to rebuild some things over there. They have a lot of big kids. They have some
Mhm.
athletes, and so just get through an off season with his system and being able to learn expectation and things like that. Anytime you switch hands at the driver's seat, it's a little bit
Mhm.
different. So those kids being able to learn his expectations and do those things. They have a lot of possibility to be a really tough opponent.
Right, and it was called there at halftime, and it was the Dragons was able to kind of get a little bit of a lead there going into halftime. Of course, then the heavens opened up and dropped off all the water,
Yeah, it was bad.
and that was a rainy ride home.
Yeah, we came out a little flat defensively. I think we flew to the ball. We had one mistake on defense that led to a touchdown, but defensively we played really well. Then we ended up with 3 interceptions, a pick
Hmm.
six from Tanner Doggett. We
Yep.
blocked a punt, and then I think JD Sewell led off, with the first interception, and then Tanner gets the pick
Right.
six, and
Well, if I could first, Tanner, I want to tell you I'm sorry, man. When you're running down the
yeah,
field, that zero looks like an 11. I know I called it for DJ. I'm sorry. I know it was Tanner. My bad, man. Really, it really was my bad. But it does when he's getting down there. That it looks like 11 going
yeah,
downfield. And it's hard to see, but he was gone.
he was moving pretty good. He was excited to be able to come up with a big play on senior night, and then
Then my boy Casey Lee.
yeah, man, I thought he was going to get in the end
That's
zone.
what I told him on Saturday morning. I said, I wish I could have seen your eyes at about the 5 yard line. I bet they were about this big.
Yeah, we blocked the punt. It landed in Big Cason's arms,
Right.
and he returned it for about 30 yards and got pushed out on the two. I asked him why he didn't get in. He said he was kind of losing control of the ball
Ah,
right there at the end, and didn't feel comfortable sticking out the stiff arm.
right.
And so,
Well, I did see somebody say if you really open up the video and stretch it out a little bit, you can see he's in there. And I was like, well, okay,
he
I
gave
can
it.
take that.
He gave it his best shot. That was a really exciting moment, for a big guy to be able
Right.
to rumble, bumble, stumble down the field with the ball. And so I thought our defense flew to the ball really well. It wasn't we still have things that we have to work on and get better, as always, watching film and breaking it down. But we really played well defensively, and then offensively after the first drive, I think we kind of hit our
Hmm.
stride and started playing a little bit better, and really were able to move the football. Didn't get very many snaps. I think we had 14 snaps in the game. Only got to play the half with the lightning that came there, at the middle of halftime, and so not being able to finish the game, and just wanted to be able to, be able to get DJ back in rhythm
Right.
after being out for a week, just do some things. And then, but Hunter Harvey looked good running the football. Offensive line did a good job up front. And then John had the huge reception for us down the field. Tanner had a receiving touchdown, and so a lot of guys, and then being able to make plays when they're needed. It's just kind of been what our receiving core has been able to do all year for us. And
Mm-hmm.
offensive line held up, really well. They were playing cover zero and bringing a lot of pressure, and those guys do a pretty good job of deciphering who they're supposed to pick up. And one thing is, talking to people, DJ does a good job checking protection and being able to let them know where the pressure's coming from and who needs to work where. It's just a really good dynamic for us out there.
Right. Yeah, it was really good to see DJ back out there. So he's fully healthy, feeling good out there.
Yeah,
Everything feeling all right, ready to go.
full range of motion. Last Tuesday, we felt really comfortable with him being able to go take the snaps for us again and be able to move around and try to get in some rhythm before the playoffs. But after missing the week before, and just being a thing to where you got to look out for your player safety.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely.
Everybody wanted to see him in Joaquin at quarterback, as just just as much as we did. But you gotta kind of take a step back and think about their safety and what they're able to do and what they're able not to do, and just
And the things coming up down the line.
I'd
And
say just put kids in a situation to be successful and not get themselves hurt. And I
right.
thought that was or we thought that was what was best for him at that time. And so getting him back last week and letting him be able to run around and move around and do the things he's normally doing at practice, and then get into a game setting and see how his body kind of handles that. We were real excited to have him back full strength.
Well, and I did get to talk to you last week because, under the weather, folks. Sorry we missed the show last week, but definitely didn't want to get anybody sick. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk a little bit about Coach Rupp. I had to call him and say, hey, I'm going to be there, but I'm not going to talk to you because I don't know what you're sick.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk to you because I always had a question because I never really asked you about it. Okay, we know DJ's a senior. What's coming up in there behind it? And I thought we got a real good glimpse of what we could see coming up in Gavin that was there in Joaquin. I thought, for a freshman, he did a really good job. But, of course, Coach Jones did an excellent job of just bringing on some pressure on him there, kind of got him out of his set a little bit. But I thought that he looked really good, and that's could be quite possibly what we may see behind center.
Yeah, definitely could. Gavin's a young kid, freshman for us that really likes the game, wants to learn the game, wants to understand the game, and being his first start in a big rival game in Joaquin, I thought he handled it really well. We talked about he made one bad play in the third quarter but it's one thing. Like I said, we sat down and we talked about it. He understood. We knew that they were going to bring a lot of pressure and play man, and we were going to try to give our receivers a chance throwing the football up. We feel like we play the football pretty good in the air. And so just got a little rattled and ended up taking a sack and just put us in a bad spot. But, I mean, he played a great game, 11 for 20. I think he threw for 230-something and 3 touchdowns.
Right.
I mean, you come
And
in.
that opening one there kind of had to give him a little bit of confidence, take some of those butterflies away to
Yeah,
get him
no
in the
doubt.
game, really.
First pass he threw, I think, was a 60-yard touchdown to Hunter Harvey. And so just being able to handle the game plan for the week and be able to take that into the game and be able to execute it as much as he did. And then late in the game, we got a little different look, and so did a good job adjusting, being able to throw the touchdown to Geechee Mathis in the second half, adjusting to what the defense was giving us, and him be able to take some coaching on the fly is really promising to see. Throws a good ball. He handles himself well. Learning the system's a lot different on Friday nights than
Right.
it is Thursday. You
Exactly.
you run the base stuff and you're able to do some things. Those guys don't watch film on Thursday nights, and so they're
Right.
not making a ton of pregame adjustments that you have to understand coming into the game. And so we're really proud of the way that he handled the game, the way he played the game, and gave us a chance to win.
Yeah, because I mean, and you got to look at it too. That game is so much faster coming at you, and you know what, you could practice and all that, but once you're out there, I can remember Coach Barnes telling me a couple years ago when he had started a freshman back there, and he said, I said, what do you look like at halftime? And he said his eyes were about this big because they were just coming at him so fast. I said, I can understand that. In that varsity game, you get out there, it's totally different once you're on the field.
It is, and I guess so. Gavin's the third freshman we started in 4 years at quarterback. We started DJ as a freshman.
Right.
Dallas Murray had to take snaps last year as a freshman.
Hmm.
He had the ankle injury, and this year, Gavin was the next guy up. And so we've started a few freshmen, and they all handle a little bit different. It's a little bit different, but told Dallas, I said we learned some good life lessons last year with you going as a freshman and being able to handle this game plan a little bit better than we
Right.
did with you. But again, Dallas, I mean, shoot, what Dallas did for us in the playoffs last year
Last year.
against Groveton, was
Right.
huge. I mean, he had a heck of a game.
Hmm.
Um, it was in the rain. I think we threw it 15
Right.
times, and I want to say he completed. I think it was 10 of 15,
Hmm.
somewhere around 200 yards, and he played a great game for us. And just being able to have confidence in yourself, confidence in those freshmen that our program does. Next man up. It doesn't matter who it is. They really play hard and believe that we have a chance to win. I think that's what goes a long way.
Yeah, and I like Dallas Murray when his way he plays, and he loves being a Dragon. And I know he had the injury there this year, and I saw him on a couple games ago. And so I said, "Well, don't hurry back, man. Make sure you're healthy when you get back, because we need you that healthy when you get back, because he's an added asset to this team that would just be phenomenal, especially in a game or two in here."
Oh, big time. The way Dallas kind of took over the inside linebacker position this year for us was really big. He was the guy that was lining us up as a sophomore, the signal caller,
Hmm.
making sure everything was straight, play with some motion out there for us, and he did a great job. And now moving Gus Duvon inside, has been a really big help for us defensively. He's played really well inside the last 2 weeks, trying to learn it. It's only his third game
Right.
inside, and so, but he's done a great job. He had some big tackles the other night and had the interception in the Hemphill game, and so watching him be able to handle a new position really well and make a big impact for us defensively. You get another guy like Dallas back, and you have both those guys in the middle. Will be really good for us, and not taking anything away from William Walden, because that kid's
Yeah.
heart's bigger than this building right
I
here.
called his name a few times on
I mean,
Friday night
he,
out
he
there.
he plays extremely hard. He loves the game. He's a great kid. But bringing Dallas back and Williams able to move a little bit better and play in space. You move him back outside just get another dynamic, a big time tackler out there on the edge for us is just I think that the injury to Dallas is not just to Dallas.
Right.
You start moving kids around and having to play in different positions. William Walden played really good for us on the edge earlier in the year. When Gus was banged up with his shoulder, missed some of the troop game, missed the next week against New Boston, and so just having everybody healthy has been an issue for us defensively, and we're slowly getting kids in positions for several weeks in a row and being able to string those things together, and they're learning the game and able to play the position full speed. Having some confidence in what they're supposed to be doing has been really good. But you be able to plug Dallas back in, that would help.
Yeah, definitely give you a whole bunch in there too. And then going back to John Agici, of course, John got the big one here against Hemphill, but Agici was not to be denied in that one there against Joaquin. He was going to the house with it. It's always good to see those guys score, because they're just an animated guys that just really give a lot of life to the
Oh, they
team.
play with a ton of emotion, and sometimes we got to tell them to relax and
Slow
stay in
down
the
a little
game.
bit.
Yeah, they play with a ton of emotion, and Geechie's done a great job for us, and what he's done, and being able to accept the role, and him having a knee injury early, and us just really making sure that he's 100%. Before he came back, Coach, I really want to play, and I said, I understand that. Let's string some days together without having any knee pain.
Right.
We finally started being able to do that. This throughout district play. Really, his first game was against Garrison, and so the impact that he makes for us in the receiving core, add another good athlete with great hands, good ball skills, be able to play in space, and some of the plays that he's made this year are really good, like the catches the out route against Joaquin, makes a couple guys miss and goes to the house, and so
Right.
it really benefits us when they're both playing at a high level. And John's been really good for us throughout district play. I think he's got something like 85% of his yards and touchdowns in district play, and so stepping up when we need it the most. And it just kind of goes to show, we talk about every week as far as our receiving core goes. Early in the year, Tanner Doggett was a big guy downfield for us, catching a bunch of go balls and post balls, and people have really tried to bracket him. And so it's just opened the door for other guys to be able to play at a high level, and moving Hunter Harvey around and doing the things that he's able to do for us athletically, from the slot to the outside receiver to running back this last week. And he's just a very dynamic player for us.
Yeah, that's one of those guys. If you're scouting the Dragons, you better make sure you know where number 2 is all the time. I just put it to you like that. You better make sure you know where number 2 is out there because he's going to be. I talked to his mom. Was trying to get him to recruiting him to play some basketball.
Yeah.
Told him she said, well, he doesn't really play basketball, and I said, well, we need kind of like a Dylan Parker type of person, a kid out there. So I think he'd be great at that. So
Well,
I'm trying to do some recruiting for Wager.
he's got a high motor. There's no doubt. I mean, that kid plays the game 100 miles an hour. He just does. And you talk about effort and energy and the things that you watch. He's not a big vocal kid. He's not going to say a whole lot. But he gets after it out there. He's a fun kid to coach.
Yeah, he definitely is. And then talking to also on the running back, Williams, like that, doing okay. I mean,
Yeah,
everything.
he'll
He
be
just
back. Yeah, he'll be back this week. He got banged up against
was a couple weeks back, wasn't it?
yeah, he got banged up against Timpson,
Yeah.
I believe.
Mhm.
A little shoulder, been bothering him for a while. We kind of pushed through the St. Augustine game. We tried to push through the Joaquin game, and kind of took a shot that shocked him pretty good. And so we took him out, held him out this week, trying to be healthy going in the playoffs, and knew that Hunter could get back there and give us a good look in the backfield. He played it, last year as a freshman.
Right.
That's what he played in junior high. He's just not a real big kid that we want to pound between the tackles all season. But just wanted Ronnie to be able to get healthy and get back to who he is.
Yeah, and then moving up to the guys up front, and folks, in case you don't know, we've been doing this for a few weeks here. It's called Breakfast with the Linemen, and we get a lineman of the game, and we head on down to Diamond B Cafe, and we have some breakfast with the guys. And this last week, we decided, in the final regular season game, let's bring a few extra guys down, and Center brought the whole offensive line. I wish I'd have known, but we were over there, and then so I go up into the to the upstairs because I'd already planned on. After casing with that and the way he was playing and Jose Gonzalez, those two guys are just solid out there. And I asked him, I said, you give me one guy that you want to bring down. And they said, Trey Sim.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. So those guys done. So Trey showed up down there too. We had him down on Saturday, and those guys had a good time, had a good conversation with him. And I tell you what, they love playing ball for the Dragons, and they love being the big guys up front.
Yeah.
And both sides of the ball, they've just been doing a great job. And I think too that I'm hoping that this little inspiration gets those guys a little bit of motivation out there because you got those big guys up front with the motivation. They're just going to carry into the whole team.
No doubt, and they love a little pat on the back and will work a little extra for that. And so anytime they can get any recognition is really good.
Right.
Trace has been a kid for us. We moved to left tackle after the first 2 scrimmages, and he's done a great job. He probably grades out higher on a week-to-week basis than anybody else. Jose and Kaysen do a great job. Tucker Stovall at center and Ethan Jackson at right guard. But Trace, week in and week out, is probably going to grade out higher as far as assignment goes,
Right.
up front for us. He does a good job, thinks on his feet really quick. Now, he doesn't play both ways like the other 2 guys. He has some. But he doesn't play as much both ways as the other 2 guys do, and so but he does a really good job for us up front. We were very proud of our defensive line against Hemphill. Those guys that had a bug on me. Those guys that played up front for us in that game. Eli Matthews getting some quality time up front at the nose position, did a great job. Had a couple tackles for loss the other night. Just giving great effort, being able to get off blocks and make tackles has been really good for us and keeping our linebackers free.
Well, too, I just want to give kudos to Tucker Stovall. I'm an old offensive center, man, and I've seen some really good stuff here by Tucker. He's been really good about getting the ball back to DJ. Haven't seen too many just really off. Every now and then it happens. You get the snaps that are a little bit crazy, but Tucker's done a great job out there. And, out there, all the offensive line and defensive line, both of you guys have done an awesome job out there. So congratulations to those guys, too. Just keep up the great work. And you can't say enough about, we're going to talk a little bit of football here and then we'll go to some other things, but the crowd, even though it was rainy, knew it was going to be rainy. They were still out. They had the big thing inside for senior night and all that other. So the Shelbyville crowd, they're always out and they're really excited and they're really into what's going on. I think we're going to have a big crowd Thursday night.
I would look forward to it. I think, man, we've traveled pretty well everywhere we went. We had the Thursday night game in Carlisle. That's a little trip.
Right.
Midweek, you would say, Thursday night game, and we packed their stands out. It wasn't really big, but we packed their stands out, standing room only on our side of the field, and so our fans have done a phenomenal job of coming to the game, being in attendance, getting loud when they need to get loud. It's been a great atmosphere and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I tell you what, and always good to see the fans out there, especially my boy Carter, man. He's always around, being very loud. You can hear him almost over everybody out there.
That's it, number 1 fan. And he's like that, man. He's like that for everything. He's just a great supporter. of anything that the Dragons are doing. He's 100% bought in. I mean, was like that in basketball last year, in
Right.
baseball, and I mean, he just loves the Dragons and loves being a part.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, let's switch a little bit from the football coach to the athletic director and some of the other things that are going on. Of course, we're wrapping up at what it was an historic season for Coach Rupp and the Lady Dragons. And I tell you, these ladies, I got to follow them and got to see them a lot throughout the year, and they played so good. And they got beat by Crossroads the other day on that. But they very first time they have made it to the playoffs before, according to I talked to Coach Rupp there in Jasper against Evadale. And that was the first time that they had won a match as a
Yes,
volleyball
yes,
program
yes.
for Shelbyville.
Yeah, have been in the playoffs either the last 3 or 4 years in a row.
Excuse me.
My years kind of meshed together. I think it's been the last 4 years in a row we've been to the playoffs. This is the first time that we've won a match in the playoffs, moving on to the area round. And so just super proud of the things that they've been able to accomplish in volleyball, and just kind of laying that foundation and being able to hopefully build on in the future. But now knowing you can go into the playoffs and
Mhm.
you can win. It's
Right.
not a curse. It's not a going to be a negative outcome or a negative mindset going into it, that we believe that we can go in and we can win a playoff game. And I think that's that's really huge, and it's what we try to instill in our kids. It doesn't really matter who we're matching up with, where at. We want to believe that we can win a game, and I think that mindset really carried over for them this year in volleyball.
Yeah, it definitely did too. And they played a great game there against Crossroads, and I thought they had a real good chance to win a set or two in there. But Crossroads was really good in there. So were the Lady Dragons. But I thought they just had a really good season. And Carsey Lovell, I finally got it right there.
Yeah, yeah,
Coach
yeah.
sent me a message after the first inning, it's Lovell, and I was like, oh my God. So but yeah, I made sure I got that right there for Carsey. And she was a big part. I mean, I love watching her play at the net. She loved to get up there, and they would set her up really good there in the middle. She had really good net play and everything, so she had a really good season as well. I can name off a bunch of the girls over there,
Yeah.
Nicole Harvey, and Taylor Jones, Jaylee Jones, all of them. And we had a big contingency. Even had a bunch of the guys went down there to
Yeah.
watch them play too.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to see a lot of the Shelbyville fans and even the guys from the football team out there
Yeah,
rooting on the girls.
they give us a hard time, And Tuesday we didn't make the trip to Jasper. We had practice, and they were
Uh-huh.
like, why can't you end practice early so y'all can come down there? And
Right.
football practice is just a little bit different than every other
Yeah.
sport. It's
Yeah.
hard
Hard
to
to
end a
just say yeah.
Tuesday early and then extend a Wednesday, and so practice just doesn't work out that great for us to be able to do that. But man, our kids support each other. They want
Mhm.
them to be successful. They want to win. It was good seeing, 15 or so of our guys show up to Rusk on Saturday, and thought we played really well in the first set and just let it slip away. And second set looked like we were still dragging from the first set loss that we had in hand. And in
Right.
the third set, we fought really hard, and they had a kill, right there at the end of the game to put them up one. That just kind of took the momentum away from us, took the wind out of ourselves, and we
Yep.
just weren't able to break the serve and get it back to win the third set. It was hard fought match that I really felt like we had an opportunity to take it more games. It just didn't go our way, and sometimes life's hard and it's tough, and then that's what happens. Crossroads was pretty good.
Mhm.
Had two lefties that were
Yeah.
really swinging it really well.
Yeah.
That I just think it's a little bit different seeing a lefty swing it than a righty swing it.
Hmm.
I don't know if we've seen one all year really. Just makes it a little tough, a little bit different angle.
Ball
And
comes at you with different English on it and
just
all
a
that.
little different.
Yeah.
And but we're really proud of our girls, and now moving into basketball, and Coach Harrington's first year, and just excited about bringing everybody back from last year's team and being able to compete for the for preseason, and then moving on to the district and the playoffs.
Oh yeah, and speaking of the girls, when are they going to start to? I mean, did Coach Harrington give them any time to get the weekend off before he brings the girls in for basketball practice to get them going? Or I mean, are they already out there practicing on it? Or,
Man, most of the time, the way kids are these days, they're pretty resilient.
right.
And they've been going in the mornings because Coach Harrington helps us coach football. And so I'm willing to bet that they showed up this morning, the ones that are going to get out there and get after. They had a game scheduled for tomorrow. It got canceled. And so just kind to hoping the next one's on deck, and being able to get out there and see what the product looks like.
Well, that's one thing too. So, as I want to do, we're going to do some girls basketball to get things rolling here before too long. Starting on some Tuesday nights, at least until we get through the football season. But the one I was looking at too is I was trying to find out when they were going to do their first game because I've got a really cool robot that's going to help me out with doing the ball game. So I like to set it up and make sure it works, and then we'll get all the schedule going. But that's what my plan is tomorrow: is just sit there and work on the Piney Woods schedule because we're going to cover games from we've got permission to cover Timpson, Tenaha, as well as Joaquin, Shelbyville, Torino, West Sabine, San Augustine, and all that in there. So we're going to have all that throughout the season of this year as well. And also, now the volleyball is not really over for the Piney Woods. The Lady Bearcats of Beckville, they were able to get their win, and they're going to be in Palestine tomorrow night for their round of play for the Beckville Lady Cats. So they're still in over there. So Lady Cats and Piney Woods still rocking and rolling over there as well. But I tell you what, too, Coach, there's just some really, really good bouncing back here to football real quick. Really good football playoffs coming up here this week. A lot of teams in the Piney Woods area are going to be rolling out there 4A, and things too. So it's just going to be a lot of. This is like some of our funnest time of the year, if you ask me, because East Texas and Texas football in the playoff time, and even though my Texans, boy.
Yeah, they blew it, man. Big letdown in the second half. You get 5 interceptions and you just can't get anything going offensively in the second half. And I
Yeah.
know it hurts missing Nico Collins and
Mm-hmm.
Stephon Diggs, but
Mm.
just got to feel like you got to score something in the second half to win the game. And
We've
just
done that. I don't know how many times this year. It's just like we don't make the right adjustments or any at all or something. I don't know.
well,
And I hate that, but
I just think at that level, those guys are so good at figuring things out when you don't have your top two receivers and you're trying to make plays and it's calling plays is not easy. And I can't
I can't believe
imagine
that. I
I
can't
can't
imagine what
imagine
Buck
it,
Slowick's going through now.
at that level and the different looks that you're seeing every week and there's no way that you don't get crossed up sometimes calling things. But defensively, really impressed with what the Texans brought to the table against the Lions.
Yeah.
Lions offense just couldn't finish.
Yep.
Sometimes it's like that, and leaves you scratching your head.
Right.
But
Well,
man,
maybe that's the little learning point, and that it'll help us later on.
hope so.
Maybe
Hope
it'll be
so.
maybe that'll be us all, and we'll knock them Chiefs down one of these days, or knock them out one of
Yeah,
these days. That would
yeah,
be
that's gonna be man, that's gonna be a tough
them Chiefs are hard, boy. They win in all kinds of ways.
tough mountain to climb. That's it. Hey,
They're winning every kind of way.
Denver had a chance to beat them right there at the end of the game, and
Mhm.
then blocked a field goal. I mean, I don't know how many different ways they won a game this year,
Right.
but they keep finding ways to do it. And it's fun watching Mahomes being from White House and
Mhm.
being an East Texas kid, and so it's just my son likes the Chiefs a lot, and
Right.
so we keep up with them, but it's I don't know. The NFL is very, very tough business.
It is, yeah, it definitely is, and I love the battle red that they had on last night. That's for sure too. And the Cowboys, they just, I don't know if the Cowboys just in hurting right now, and I don't know about all that, but they're coming.
I can't talk about the Cowboys. There's too many buddies of mine that are Cowboys fans, and I'm not going to pour any salt in the
Right, yeah,
wound.
I'm not
So
trying to hurt them, man. They're just, oof, well, they're just not looking good at all right now.
yeah,
And then I get home on Saturday afternoon, and and switch on some football, and Georgia lost. What is this?
yeah,
What happened here? And then all this other thing is just going crazy in college football right now. And I mean, everybody here, but I guess it's the 12-game playoff. And you're still up in there. It's going to be interesting
it
as well. Makes it
is.
cool and
It
interesting, I
is.
guess.
Georgia had been playing well on offense, and
Mhm.
Ole Miss is a really good team, along with a lot of those
Right.
teams in the SEC. They do a great job on offense with Lane Kiffin, and it just you have to play well every Saturday
Every
in the
Saturday.
SEC, and so
Mhm.
ask LSU and their fans right now.
Right.
That was probably a tough pill to swallow.
Hmm.
Alabama coming there and doing what they did in Baton Rouge. So SEC's a tough place to live. That's what we feel like we're in sometimes. We
Right.
just got to buckle them up and play.
Right. Yeah, I still have a lot of friends in Oklahoma that are Sooners fans up there, and they're just finding a hard reality that SEC is not as easy. And I mean, Oklahoma's always going to be good too. They're always a good squad, but they're finding it not an easy road to hold there in there.
I think the thing about the SEC is the week in and week out. I think if you pick up one of those games in the preseason or you pick up one of those games in a bowl game, it's it's a little different. It's not as hard to prepare for
Mhm.
because you're not as beat up and the thing that the SEC schedule does to you. I think week in and week out that schedule is really hard to play. The physicality, the speed of the game, and all the things that it presents. I think there's not as much of that in other conferences, and so I think that's what makes the SEC so tough.
Yeah, that is. I mean, anytime it's just like I look at it like what you said. It looks like our district right here. You're playing in the SEC. I don't care what side you're playing in there. Because I mean, then they have those teams that are those surprises every year, like Vanderbilt this year. Is out there taking care of business. And then you look at the Big Ten over there, and you find the Indiana. You don't find those teams that come out there like that every 3 or 4 years or something like that. But I like to see them out there really doing stuff, and especially it's just one of those teams that it's Vandy, no problem. We'll schedule them, and then they get beat. So there you go. It's crazy. So. All right, Coach. I'm gonna let you get some pizza and talk, and then I'm gonna talk about some of these other things we got going on. But appreciate you being here, and I got a big game coming up. All right, folks, we're gonna be Thursday night, Nacogdoches High School, Dragon Stadium there. So works out, right? Somebody said we were the visiting.
We
team.
are the visiting team. We lost the flip.
They do the flip for. Okay, I'm sorry. That was one thing I was like, how did we get that? Okay, so we'll be the visiting team there on the visiting side, but we'll be on the NFHS network there, folks. So we will have it there for you. So, but a lot of great things going on in Dragon World right now, and we're looking forward to it on Thursday night, Coach.
Yes, sir.
What we got?
Go Dragons.
There you go. All right, we're going to be right back here on NetSN.
Sandy Cox is a good State Farm agent. Just ask Drake. He knows. State Farm agents in general are pretty cool, but Sandy Cox has the answers to your questions. Like, what's best for me, for my kids, for my business, for my farm? For all of us in Shelby County, those questions can be answered at Sandy Cox State Farm.
Hope Community Medicine is a nonprofit faith initiative with the primary mission of providing quality health care to the people of East Texas, regardless of race, religion, socioeconomic status, or ability to pay. At Hope Community Medicine, they want to be the leading deep East Texas care provider, recognized for their outstanding patient care, innovative technologies, programs, and medicines, as well as a highly motivated and distinguished staff. Hope Community.
Hey, y'all got a dirty truck.
Well, then take it to Joe's Car Spa for a spa day.
At Joe's, they make them shine.
And they're standing by to work with the community.
They was elected best of Shelby County this year, and it's called Joe's, but it probably ought to be called Reed, since Reed Grant owns it.
So, Billy Don, when it's time for your car or truck to have a spa day, where do you take it?
I don't know where.
Father, for lunch today, I would like a salad.
Father, for lunch, I'd like one of those
no,
American
I couldn't possibly.
cheeseburgers.
I'm a vegetarian.
Cheeseburger. That's what I need.
Father.
Ice cream. Oh, when everyone in your family thinks they're royalty, take them someplace where they could all get something good. Dairy Queen.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back here to the Piney Woods Area Coaching Show. As we're moving right along here, just talk a little bit about some of the things that we went through last week here in what we covered. And we talked a little bit about the volleyball there. We covered the volleyball playoffs on the NFHS network, and that involved the Shelbyville Lady Dragons. They took on Evadale, and they lost they were able to win that match up there. And then they moved on to Saturday. They had a match up there on Saturday. It was in Rusk. And they took on the Lady Bobcats, or Lady Cats of Crossroads, and the Lady Cats were able to get that victory there to end of the season there for the Lady Dragons in volleyball. But a great day for them. And like I said, we were able to give that match that they won there against Evadale was a historic win first time a match win there for the Lady Dragons in the program history, which is really, really good. Some of the other teams out there too, I want to say congratulations to Coach Belrose and the Lady Tigers, or sorry, the Lady Bears, as they were able to get into the playoffs. They lost their first round matchup to Latexo. But they got there, and that was good because the Lady Bears had a kind of an up and down season, but they were able to get into the playoffs, and which is a good thing. Hey, get into the playoffs and get in there and play. So congratulations to Coach Belrose and the Lady Bears getting into the playoffs there and on their first season. And ended their season coming to an end there, but to Latexo. But a good job there getting into the playoffs for Coach Spikes and for the Coach Ebarb over there in San Augustine. We were able to cover those teams there as well throughout the season, and they had some really good season there too. And I think Coach Ebarb had a really younger squad over there in San Augustine, and they're going to be back next year. And they're going to be very good too. So watch out for the Lady Wolves next year because they were pretty strong as they went to the very end there. They had a chance to win some of those matches, and there was some such and stuff that they ran in those later matches, and they did a really good job. And I think Coach Ebar is going to have them ready to go here as they get a little bit more experience going into next year. Same thing with Coach Spikes. Coach Spikes didn't have any seniors on her squad this year, so they're going to be even better coming up here next year. They made some noise in it this year as well, but I look for Coach Spikes and the Lady Rough Riders, the center, to be making a little bit more noise out there too. And also that gives us a chance too, after covering some of those teams here this year, we'll be able to cover some more of those teams coming in as of next year as well. So and maybe even some other teams coming up too. All right, so that's where we are right now. And then we went into football mode after that. So on Thursday night, we went over, and like I said, it was already scheduled. We were going to cover the West Sabine Tigers taking on Sabine Pass and the Sharks. And the West Sabine Tigers were able to get the victory there to secure that number 2 spot there into that district. And I hope that the Sabine Pass Sharks were able to get their paperwork thing taken care of so they don't lose any games due to a paperwork issue, because you really hate to see the kids having like that for something on the paperwork. Hopefully that's what it was. That's just what I heard. So I'm not trying to pass on. I don't know for sure. That's just what I heard. And hopefully they'll get to take it care of there for the kids and they were able to get in there. I don't know if that's going to get them into the playoffs, but it could. But they're a good little squad over there. So Sabine passed there, but the West Sabine Tigers were able to get that victory, and they were moved them into the number 2 seed there right behind Deweyville into their district. They will take on Grapeland, and the Grapeland Sandys had themselves an heck of a season this year. They were, in the same district as Shelbyville and everybody last year. They moved down to that D2 there with West Sabine, and that's going to be a very, very good matchup. And our guys from Center of Christians, Waddington and Stephen Shires, they're going to be in Timpson. That's where the game's going to be. And that'll be on Thursday night. They'll be in Timpson on Thursday night to cover that game for you, and that'll be on the NFHS Network. So good luck to Coach Bragg and the Tigers as they got a good tough game coming up here on Thursday night. And then Friday night, like I said, the Center Rough Riders, they will move into covering the Gilmer game there for those guys. But back on the football side, is after that one, we ran into San Augustine because originally we were I was wanting to cover the San Augustine and Timpson game on Friday night, and but that game got moved to Thursday. So we ran up there because we were already committed to the West Sabine game. So we came up there and we caught the back half, and it was 13-0 at halftime there at San Augustine and Timpson. And then San Augustine held on, and they came out there and they put up a touchdown. It was 13-7. Got about 3:50 or so left in that third quarter. Timpson was able to get a big run there by J.J. Garner, kind of opened up a little bit, and then Timpson played some really good defense, got an interception, kind of opened up a little bit more, and then they just kind of ended up pulling away from the Wolves there into that fourth quarter for that victory for the Timpson Bears. So a good job there. Then Friday night, we're in Shelbyville as Hemp Hill comes to town with the Hornets, and that game got to about halftime there. And Hemp Hill Hornets, I tell you what, Coach Lane's got a very good squad. He's got a good little quarterback there as well as a freshman this year, but he had awesome offensive line. And talking to the guys from Shelbyville, he said that was some of the biggest guys that they faced throughout the year. So Hemphill's got some good squads, and they're going to be working on that coming up next year. The Hemphill Hornets are definitely going to be a team to be watching out for as they get into next year's season 2 for this district. So that's a good one coming up there. And then Saturday we went over to Rusk and we recovered the Lady Dragons there in the Crossroads Lady Cats there into the NFHS playoff networks there in volleyball. And that's kind of how we wrapped up the week last week. So now coming up this week, we're starting off tonight, and then we're going to take tomorrow. I'm going to take tomorrow and kind of work on my basketball schedule, and we'll talk a little bit about that too. And then Thursday night, we'll be in Nacogdoches for Shelbyville and Leon Jewett. And then Friday, I will be in Palestine for Timpson and Hearn for the first round of the playoffs, and then we'll see where we are coming up next week. That's kind of what we got going on. So, all right, so Here's what happens if Shelby and Leon Jewett, if whoever wins that game, will take on the winner of the Beckville Rivercrest game. And Beckville's looking really pretty good right now. Timpson takes on Hearn, and whoever wins that game, they get Honey Grove or Elysian Fields. And Honey Grove is playing very, very good. And Timpson and Honey Grove played last year in Athens. I covered that game on the FHS Network. And Honey Grove's really good. They had a freshman quarterback back there last year that could really throw the ball. They had a good running back, I think it was a junior. And so Honey Grove is going to be a very tough team this year. Coming up too. So they'll either take on Honey Grove or Elysian Fields in the next round. Joaquin takes on Centerville. That game will be also, I think that game is in ARP. And the center guys are going to be, the NetSN guys, Brett Sweden and those guys are going to be there to to cover that game in ARP for the NFHS network. So we'll have some NetSN guys down there. And so the Joaquin guys will be there for that one. If Joaquin wins, they'll take on the winner of the Cooper Big Sandy matchup. And then you have Garrison taking on Corrigan Camden. The winner of that game will take on Wascom or Pewitt. And I tell you what, if Garrison and Wascom end up playing each other, that is going to be one heck of a football game, folks. I'm just trying to tell you. I just know what it is. So that's kind of what things are doing coming up here as we get ready for the season on the way. So that and a few other things to talk about here as we get ready to wrap up the Piney Woods Area Coaches Show. We'll talk about that as we get ready to move on over to the Rick Meek Show. We'll start up here about 7:30. So stay with us, folks. We'll be right back here on NetSN.
At Shelby Savings Bank, the same thing that's true at the Selma Street location is true at the North Branch. It's where banking meets the smile. They're not just friendly tellers, they're your friendly tellers. And the smile on Manager Janet's face, it's contagious. When you say Shelby Savings Bank is your friendly hometown bank, well, you hit it right on the nose.
Wright Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Center has the new and used vehicles that you're looking for. If your vehicle needs service, stop by WrightChryslerDodgeJeep.com and get your service appointment, and also shop online. Then come on down and let the guys make a great deal for you. And our knowledgeable staff will not let you leave without knowing everything about your new or used vehicle. Wright Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram supports all the students of the Piney Woods.
It's as easy as 1, 2, 3 to see why Blake Furniture is the top furniture company in East Texas. Get the lowest prices and discover our easy in-store financing and low payment plans. Plus, get the fastest delivery in East Texas. Get your credit pre-approved online at blakefurniture.com today.
Batters Law Firm is your first choice in personal injury law. Jeff Batters and his staff lead the way in the area with Best of Nacogdoches and Best of Lufkin votes over the last several years. If your case matters, it's got to be Batters.
All right, folks, back here to wrap up here the Piney Woods Area Coaches Show, and now we're going to be on for just a few more minutes here, and then we'll close this down and get ready for the Rick Meeks Show as Kristen Shires and those guys get ready to get up here. Coach Meeks is here, and as he's having a chat with Coach Wallace, talking about some football right now, and I got some pizza hanging out over there too. So just want to say a big thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors being here with us, and a big thank you as well to the good folks over there at Happy Tails and all the things that they do for the animals into the area. And have a very good friend. His name is Mark Potter. He's over in the Panola County area, does a lot of things with the Panola County area animal rescue over there. So a big thank you. So if you get the chance to help out those wonderful folks, please do so, especially as it's going to get cold out here a little bit. So if you can find some kind of way to make sure that the animals maybe have some old blankets or anything like that, it'd be really helpful. Some hay, some different things, or even some food donation. That would be really, really good to either one of those places. We really, really do appreciate that. All right. Some of the things that we have coming up here, we will have breakfast with the linemen on Saturday morning. We'll have our lineman selection that we will have on Friday night, and that'll come down there on Saturday morning. So just enjoy all the wonderful restaurants here we have here in the center and of the Piney Woods area. It's come on down and enjoy all that. And like I said, anytime you want to come down here on Monday night and be a part of the show, we'll definitely would like to have you down here and have some pizza and check it out. Now, I do know that coming up here on probably next Wednesday is whenever I'm looking at it. Next Wednesday, I know we're still in football mode. But we really are getting ready for some basketball. And, basketball season is one of my favorite times of the year as well. But as we're getting ready for some basketball, we've been talking to a couple of coaches about having a preview show, and we definitely want to introduce you to Coach Harrington, the girls coach of the Shelbyville Lady Dragons. And I know that Coach had Coach Murray was on that was the coach last year, and he really got those girls moving. As we went to the latter part of the season, they were really getting a much better squad, and I think that a lot of those girls are coming back and are really going to be really good again this year. So Coach Harrington's got a really good squad to really go there. We'll also talk to Coach Wagers. He's really ready to get into the season as well. Going to have himself another good squad that are going to be out there as the defending runner-up for the state champion 2A last year, the Shelbyville Dragons. And I know we have some new coaches over there in Tenaha as well. Tenaha played, the Tenaha girls were already playing some games. They played in a tournament, which was on our NetSN against Brook Hill the other night. So check that game out if you didn't get to see it. And the Lady Tigers of Tenaha, they're moving along, and as I saw, I think they're in the top 10 of the girls there under the preseason rankings too. So good job by the Lady Tigers. They have a new coach over there as well. So give it Coach Lewis and all the teams over there. And same thing with Tenaha, Timpson, I should say, and Joaquin. Hopefully we can have all those. I'll talk to Coach Bragg down in West Sabine, but they're still playing football. They may not be able to. So we're going to see what we can do, but we're going to have all the coaches throughout the year. And I know that we have Coach Cloudy now taking over the girls team over there in St. Augustine. So he's going to be really good. And Coach Randall's still down there with the guys team in St. Augustine too. So going to be a very good year for some basketball here in the Piney Woods area, especially now the way that the district has been reconstructed, and you have Torino and West Sabine, St. Augustine, and Shelbyville all in that district here, and then Timpson and Tenaha, Beckville, Garrison, and all them over in there. It's going to be really interesting, and then they'll cross over as once we get to the playoff time. So it's going to be a lot of fun for basketball season. We're really looking forward to it. So that's where we are with that. But just want to say a big thank you to all the wonderful folks that help make this show possible. Thank you for joining us at wherever you are, and please subscribe to our channel and like us whenever you get the opportunity. And check out the ball games, folks. One more time, Thursday night we will be in Nacogdoches on the NFHS Network. I will be there for Shelbyville and Leon Jewett. Then Friday night, I will be in Palestine for Timpson and Hearn on the NFHS Network. Now, the center guys, they will be on Thursday. They will be in Timpson for West Sabine and Grapeland. And then on Friday night, they will be in Tatum for Center and Gilmer, first round of the playoffs. All right, folks? That's what we got going on there. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here tonight. Thanks to the wonderful folks at the pizzeria. Always enjoy my pizza and my salad every time I'm down here. Hey, don't forget those awesome wings as well. Have an awesome, blessed, wonderful night, folks. We're out here. The Rick Meek Show coming up here a little after 7:30 on NetSN. Bye-bye.
The proceeding was a presentation of Watlington, Shires, and Pierce Productions. We hope you have an awesome and blessed night. God bless America, God bless our troops, and God bless each and every one of you.